Nalolo, Kalabo, and surrounding areas, as well as Mongo and Lemolunga in Western Province. You can also watch us on Facebook, that is Bulozi TV, as well as on our YouTube channel, Bulozi TV. Also on TikTok, you can find us on that platform. My name is Nathan Akfuna Wamundela. Now, gender equality is not simply about women and men having equal rights. It is about creating a society where everyone has equal opportunities to contribute to development and benefit from it. As Zambia implements the national gender policy and works towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, questions remain about the progress being made, especially in rural provinces like Western Province. Women and girls enjoying equal opportunities in education, employment, and leadership. What progress has been made in reducing gender-based violence? Are men and boys equally engaged in promoting gender equality? Tonight on The Power, we discuss a very important topic, gender equality and development in Western Province. What is the progress? What are the challenges? And what is the way forward? Joining us in this discussion is Mr. Bruce Hamsokwe, who is the Principal Gender Officer for Western Province. Mr. Hamsokwe, I hope I've pronounced that name correctly. Please pardon me. Welcome to Bulozi TV and welcome to the Power Program.
You did, Nathan. Don't worry. That's a correct pronunciation. Thank you so much, and I'm glad that we're here.
Sure.
My name is Bruce Collins Hamsokwe, just like I think Mr. Nathan has introduced me. I'm the Principal Gender Officer for Western Province.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, Nathan.
Also, later in the program, we will be able to open the phone lines so that you can come through and just share your views and maybe questions they might have after having listened to the discussion. Remember, the topic of discussion this evening is gender equality and development in Western Province. What is the progress? What are the challenges and what is the way forward? My guest, like I've mentioned, is Mr. Bruce Hamsokwe, who is the Principal Gender Officer for Western Province. Mr. Allow me to call you Bruce. Allow me to call you Bruce because I don't want to be misquoted on this one. On the other name.
No, it's fine.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bruce. I know you've already mentioned it, but just a quick introduction, just a brief one. Who is Mr. Bruce Hamsokwe, and maybe what does your role entail, Principal Gender Officer?
Okay, thank you so much, Nathan. So my role basically, I would describe it just in two words. Okay, equity and equality. Okay, those are the two terms that I'll use. So when you look at gender, we look at issues to do with women, men, boys and girls. But how do we look at these matters? We look at these matters in regard to equal opportunities, that is equality, equal access to skills, development, equal access to the financial capital, okay, for both women and men. And there's also another aspect of equity. Okay, so equity for me is the deliberate policy or approach, which is a means to equality. Okay, so these are basically two roles. But if you like, I can also say as gender, we're also involved in mainstreaming, making sure that in all aspects of organization, at local level, community level, there's a gender consideration in it. So that is our scope. So in Western Province, our mandate is to coordinate and monitor all gender issues in Western Province. That's what we do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, many people associate the term gender with women issues only. From a policy perspective, what does gender equality really mean? And also, why is it important for national development, especially when it comes to rural provinces like Western Province? Okay,
thank you very much, Nathan. So, the reason why we emphasize on women when it comes to gender equity and equality is because of the historical, inequalities that have been perpetuated over a long period of time. You'd agree with me that the background hasn't been, or how history hasn't been so kind to women. Okay, world over. In America, women never used to have that right, the civil right to vote, because they are regarded to be illiterate. Okay? In Saudi Arabia, women are not considered to drive vehicles. Here in Zambia, our own case, where women would be considered as marriage material once probably around the age of 12 to 15. So all these inequalities have an impact on making sure that women have equal opportunities. But how are we going to make sure that women have got equal opportunities? And this is how we bring in issues to do with equity. Okay? Because equity is a deliberate approach. Now, we've emphasized on women. Why? Because the gap between women and men is so huge. Yeah. Men have actualized themselves because over time, they've got access to a lot of opportunities as compared to women. So equality, that's what it tells. So equality is just me be able to say, Nathan, I'm equal to you. Okay? This woman is equal to me. This man is equal to me. Irrespective of status in society, we are equal people. Before I'm a man, before she's a woman, she's a human being. And we're equal before God. That's equality. Okay? So we've got equal access to everything that we have, that God has given us. But when we talk about equity, now it's a deliberate approach. For example, I'll give an example of somebody comes and say, 6 of you here, who would want a pair of shoes? Who's also, no, I want a pair of shoes. I want a pair. 6 of us, isn't it? But we haven't told that person, what is my shoe size? Are we together?
Sure.
Yes, I haven't told that person my shoe size. Okay? Now, we're all going to have shoes, isn't it?
Yes.
And that's equal. We have access to shoes. But now, the shoe size is the best fit that I should be able to have. And that is how equity works. The best fit for purpose. The best opportunity. The best career development. That is what equity is all about. So we can all have shoes, but that shoe that you're having should be the best fit for you. So now, when we translate to women, do women have the best opportunities that will be able to be a means to equalize to what men already have? That's the question we should be able to ask ourselves in our society. And that's the reason why we are pushing so much for women to be equal to have equal opportunity as those opportunities that men have. And equity is a means that we use as gender to reach that objective.
Now, talking about opportunities, how would you assess the current state of gender equality in Western Province in terms of opportunities, be it in politics, governance, and other roles that women should also participate? How would you assess the rate of equality?
Okay, so wow, Western Province somehow is a rural province. Okay, and if I say that championing equality, first of all, start with illiteracy levels. Western Province has got a very high rate of illiteracy levels. The most impacted ones are women. So maybe we can start it from there. Access to education has been a challenge, and already is a challenge in Western Province. So even if we talk about equalizing women, we need to start from that background. Are women able to access quality education? In this regard, we're not talking about maybe the primary, secondary, even skills development is education. Okay, so education already, access to education has been a barrier before we even talk about these opportunities. Okay, so as government, we want to make sure that we put across, or we develop frameworks that will be able to lead us to have equal opportunities. Because without proper education, quality education, you can never talk about these opportunities. Men in Western Province are more actualized than women. That's a fact. Okay? Just look at access to finance. It's a challenge in Western Province for women, especially those that are into business. Okay? I'll give an example of even the CDF opportunities. When we're in Shangombo, we discovered that actually more men are able to access CDF loans than women. Why? Because of the same things to do with illiteracy levels. So illiteracy levels are very, very bad in Western Province, and I think once we work on these matters, financial literacy and general literacy, once we work on that regard, I think we'll be able to drive towards the equality that we want to meet as an objective.
Now, you've talked about high literacy levels, especially among the women, but what are some of the major challenges now affecting communities when it comes to the issues of gender equality in Western Province?
Okay, so like I think I can also talk about access to capital, because we've got a program we call Women Economic Empowerment Program, where we look at empowering women with various agriculture equipment, okay, and financial capital in terms of equipment, and also certain supplies, grass supplies. Now, when we talk about as to whether women in Western Province or communities are equalized, the gap is still there. The gap is still there, and we can be able to tell by how much, when we go out in the communities, impoverished how certain societies, communities are, the lack of necessary basic needs, it is apparent, and we're able to tell once we go out there. And that's the reason why I think we've employed certain interventions to make sure that we reduce such kind of inequalities in our local communities. So the gap is still there.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe, I don't know, do you have statistics in terms of the number of women, for example, are able to have access to these, for example, I'll give an example of Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission, the loans and also the grants that are being given by CEC, and also from the CDF component for women empowerment. How is what is the level of access for these women, especially here in Western Province? Are they able to access the financial support from the government institutions like CEC and also CDF?
Okay, for CEC, I may not have the statistics right away, but I think CDF, we have CDF as an intervention where women are able to access grants, okay, and also loans. Then we have also social cash transfer, where women are able to access livelihood support. Then also we have a program called the Support Women Livelihood, where women are able to also access support. Now, all those three programs are a means to make sure that women are equalized. And this is a direct injection of cash into households. So if you come to to social cash transfer, about 25% are men and 75% are women. Already tells you the direction, and already tells you to say we're trying to cover up the inequalities that I talked about. So these are some of the things that you can be able to use as models to tell what government is doing. 75% women, meaning that women are more included in the program as compared to men, because men are already actualized. Yeah, the CDF is the same, but the CDF component of the loan has been a challenge for women to access. Reason being that for CDF loans, you need a functioning company or viable company. So I think our women have been having the challenge to go and register these companies at BACRA because the same illiterate levels we talked about. I think for men, they've used the component very well, and it has actualized for them. When it comes to skills development, also as a means to equalize women, what we discovered in Shangombo is that men are able to have access to skills development loans than women. Why? Because again, the same issue. Women that are leading a family may not be able to be allowed by maybe their husbands to come to Mongo from Shangombo or to go to Lusaka to go for training, to access that skills development training. So you find that maybe you can, as government, you can plan everything. The woman goes to Lusaka or comes to Mongo trades here. 3 months into the course, she's called back home and she drops out. Those are some of the challenges that are there. But for men, yes, they access these facilities, and they're able to actualize and reduce poverty occurrences in the households. Yeah.
Are there any interventions apart from, of course, the social cash transfer and from the gender division? Do you have any interventions to bridge in the gap that is there?
Yeah, we have a lot of interventions, and I'm glad that you asked that question, because we've got a program, like I said, called Women Economic Empowerment Program. It's a program that it happens annually. I would also, in answering that question, give examples practically of which cooperatives that we've empowered. Now, what we do with this program is that we call for applications as it is, but for cooperatives or clubs. By those cooperatives and clubs, they need to be women-led. That is our focus. They have to be women-led, meaning that almost about 70% of the members of the cooperative have to be women. Okay, 20%, 30%, 20% can be men to come and support the cooperative. So we'll do what we call needs assessment. We'll go around the province to do the needs assessment, to look at really what is needed in these communities through the cooperatives. Okay. Once we do the needs assessment, then we'll come and do what we call technical support for those cooperatives that have been selected. So, like I think start next week, we'll be in the field doing technical support. We're doing capacity building for the cooperatives that were selected during the 2026-2027 season, empowerment season. So now, what have we done? In Shangombo, through the same program, we've given a cooperative, one cooperative, 250 broiler chickens with charcoal, with 18 bags of feed, drinkers, feeders, Gumboro, Newcastle vaccines, everything, the whole package. We deliver to Shangombo. Additionally, in Shangombo, we have drilled 2 boreholes in Shangombo's gender division, in Natukoma and Central Shangombo. What are we doing? We are responding to the droughts experience that we had for the past 2 seasons. What we want to see in Shangombo is that this cooperative will be viable. Whenever there is a problem of floods in Shangombo or drought in Shangombo, this cooperative will be able to cultivate maize and vegetables, and we had to do a sustainability program for the same interventions. So we'll have a proper irrigation in Natukoma and Central Shangombo. 2 boreholes already done. You come to Limulunga, we've got a cooperative led by women. We gave them a hammer mill, and that hammer mill is servicing about 700 households. You imagine 700 households. So women no longer have to travel distances to have their produce or their maize milled. 700 households in Limulunga. Even there in Limulunga again, we've empowered another cooperative with 2 oxens, a plow, a coast cart, and also seeds and fertilizer. Okay? And an irrigation facility again, borehole and irrigation facility. Another cooperative was given a rice polisher. There are too many.
Okay.
Yeah, there are too many. In Mitete, hammer mills. 2 hammer mills.
Okay.
In Lukulu, sewing machines. Here in Mongo, a full-fledged butchery has been given to a woman-led cooperative in Kaplanga. This is what we're doing. All these are an intervention to make sure that women cooperatives or women in our communities are financially viable. Yeah.
Thank you so very much. Now, how does gender inequality affect poverty reduction and also maybe education, healthcare, and also economic growth?
Okay. What it is, Nathan, is thank you very much, Nathan, for that question. Now, in a society where the level of inequalities are high, it means opportunities for the other gender is low. That's definitely true. So, in case of, I think, Western Province, like I think we've talked about access to quality education. Now, what we need to do is bridge the gap. But definitely, if women are not enlightened and the literacy levels are quite high, how do we bridge the gap? We can drive them to go and do skills. And that's under CDF. We're trying to make sure that women have access to skills development as gender, number 1. Number 2, sensitization to ensure that components like CEC okay, are brought on board. The Department of Cooperatives are brought on board to ensure that financial illiteracy is inculcated in the culture of women. Number 3, silk platforms and interventions. Those are also a means to make sure that women are included in all the financial formula. Financial inclusivity in Western Province is quite poor. Okay, why? Because you can even see how the number of banks we have in Western Province. That is brick and mortar banks. Okay, we've got, I think, one in Lukulu, then in Kalabo, in Mongo, Sesheke, and Kaoma. The whole province has got how many banks? 5 banks. What does it tell us?
Quite low number.
Exactly. So how do you include women? There are many interventions. Just even a phone. Social cash transfer, a phone can be a means to transactions. Yeah. So these are some of the ways that I think we're trying to push to make sure that women are included. Yeah. In case
you've just joined us, you're watching the Power program, and my guest this evening is Mr. Bruce Sokwe, who is the Principal Gender Officer for Western Province, and we are discussing gender equality and development in Western Province. We're looking at the progress made, the challenges, and also the way forward. You can still come through in case you want to share your views, maybe ask a question to Mr. Bruce. You can come through and participate by calling us on the number which is right on your screen, which is 0773 738114. 0773 738114 is the number that you can participate simply by calling. You can either send a text message, or on Facebook you can just leave your comment in the comment section. We would be very happy that you will participate on this program. Mr. Bruce, we know that we are in an election year, 2026. Just a few weeks, a few days remaining. Zambia will be going to the polls. Now, as Zambia prepares for this year's elections, political parties have adopted relatively low numbers of women as candidates for elective office. From your perspective as a Principal Gender Officer for Western Province, what are some of the factors that continue to contribute to this low level of female participation, and what can be done to change the status quo?
Okay, Nathan, thank you very much. Although I may not agree with you on that score, on that regard, sure. Because I think as government we've done quite a lot to ensure that women are equalized in politics and decision-making spaces. I'll start with in January, February, around that time we had an Indawa in Lusaka where we invited quite a number of women throughout the country. Okay, it was a high-level conference for women that were called to come and participate for 2 days, ensure that we prepare women toward this election. And it was such kind of a deliberate approach. Okay, I saw people from here, from Western Province, about 60 women traveled, financed by themselves. And I think I remember even seeing Madam Bet Kashumba.
No.
Yeah, she was amongst the women that came. And what has actualized, she's a candidate. So I'll still come back. I'll still come back to that. Sure. Secondly, this government also, what have they done? Bill 7 of 2025, deliberate approach. Remember I talked about equity, which is a deliberate approach to equalize women. The Bill 7 of 2025, amended, also has given 20 women. So we are guaranteed, even before voting, we are guaranteed that there will be 20 women.
Is 20 enough?
20 may not be enough, but we are starting. Okay, as gender and as Zambia, we are part of the SADC. We are part of the SADC organ on peace, conflict, and defense, where we've got a component of gender working group, and what this organ push for is 50 and above women representation in decision-making spaces or position. But as for the case for Zambia, we've got the Bill 7 that went through. 20 women already, they'll sit in parliament. Whether they deserve it or they don't deserve it, we call it equity. Okay? Now, where are we coming from? Where we're coming from, the statistics were that from 2016 to 2021, we had about 30% or 31% of women representation in parliament. 2021 general elections saw us drop into 15%. So we are not doing well on that score. But I think the government, through the gender division, pushed for gender responsive approaches to ensure that this bill goes through and this bill responds, okay, to the need of having more women in decision-making position. Practically, if you talk about corporate space, corporate governance space, the formula they use is 40 men, 40 women in percentage form, and 20 is shared between the two genders. Okay? So, that's the corporate scenario when it comes to governance. But I think for us as government, we can start with 20 first. Then this is the proportional representation. Yeah. So how is it shared? This 20, it will be shared amongst political parties, going by how many, what the percentage of votes the presidents will get. Maybe Nathan, I can further also allude to, then women I know personally. Of course, not on the relation basis, but I know. For example, here in Western Province, in Mwandi, there's a woman standing in Mwandi, a woman. We go to Southern Province, I know the aspiring candidate in Mons is a woman. We go to Kafiwe, I know there's Bumba Malambo, and there's Bumba Malambo studying as a Kafiwe member of parliament, that is in the east. And we've got somebody also standing, a woman who's standing as council chairperson, Vena Zulu. You go to Lusaka Central, there's a woman there who's standing under Tonse Alliance, at Lusaka Central. Okay, Linda constituents, we've got a woman, Madam Chitangala, who was the immediate past mayor. Okay, mayor is for Lusaka. In Kanyama, there's a woman standing there. Chongwe, we've got two women that I know, Madam Masebo and Benedict Daka, should be Daka, who's standing in Chongwe East. You got the Copper Belt, we've got Madam Lenga, okay, Kampamba Mlenga, who's standing there, and I think the sister also should be standing, okay, and I think there should be Madam Sibote, something like that, who's standing also, I think should be in Kamfinsa. You go to Eastern Province, I know Madam Piri, that is Chipata Central. Okay. Then Madam Nyerenda, okay, the Madam Nyerenda is standing in Lundazi. Madam Nyerenda Plan B, they call her Plan B. She's standing in Lundazi. We go to the north. You've got Susan, who's standing in Mwense. The young lady Susan. I think then you go to Chiengi. The past immediate DC for Samfia, Madam Sangu, is standing there in Chiengi. Now, tell me, are those numbers low? It's a response to what we've put across as government. And part of it is to ensure that political violence has been removed or is removed from the political space, to make sure that women respond to the core of leadership. That's what we've been doing. So for me, numbers are okay. We are starting, and we'll get there. Thank you, Nathan.
Interesting, but I still feel that the numbers are quite low.
Okay.
For example, in Western Province, you've just mentioned about two. There's just Betty Kashumba here, and also maybe in Mwandi. But looking at the number of constituencies that we have in Western Province, they're quite a lot. But the political parties have not done enough to give an opportunity to these women to also participate. And where is the problem?
Okay, in Western
where is
Province,
the problem, and what can be done to ensure that going forward, also political parties in the maybe coming elections, there will be deliberate policy or action from these political parties to ensure that they include these women.
Okay, but let me also mention. Nathan. Shangombo West. There should be a woman there standing. I've just forgotten her name. Shangombo West. There's a woman standing there. Once I recall the name, I think I'll be able to share with the viewers. So Shangombo West, there's a woman standing. Well, numbers, why are they low? Now, inter-party democracy is something of which as government, cannot interfere with. Okay? It's, I think for me, it's the beliefs, the values, and ethically, how people in that political party relate amongst themselves. Other people, wrongly, with the wrong perception, they may think women may be weaker candidates. You see? And they opt to adopt men because a few women will lose them an election. But not with the other political. The other political parties, I think they've shown leadership by ensuring that the numbers of women are higher. Okay, if you go to the case of Mwense, the young lady, the sensational young lady, Susan standing against the former minister, that's quite sensation. Okay, so things to do with the intra-party democracy is something that government cannot interfere with, but it's a perception of the local organization of that particular party. Yeah, so I may not very much divulge in that, but as government broadly, what we've done is that we've shown leadership and also will to ensure that the numbers are increasing. Yes.
Sure. Now, maybe beyond increasing the number of women contesting elections, how do we ensure that those who are elected or who will be elected in this year's general election will be empowered to influence policy and also drive meaningful development in their communities? How can we ensure that such is achieved?
Okay. Before I get to that, Nathan, I also just want to share with viewers and also yourself. This election has recorded 4 women that are running mates. Madam Nalumango, who happens to be running mate to our president, Hakainde Hichilema, under UPND. Then we've got Dori Kabanda, Freddie Membe, that is Socialist Party. Okay, then we have Zambia Wake Up Party. The president is Howard Kunda. Okay, and the running mate is Chipo Mioba, a woman. Then we've got the Democratic Union, Akem Jovu, the young man, and the running mate is Miriam Banda. So 4 women already have given themselves to stand.
Sure.
So for me, that's a direction that we're going to, and it's because of the political will and space that has been accorded to women to participate, okay, in such kind of competitions. Yeah. So how are you going to make sure that women are going to
influence policy and also drive meaningful development in their communities?
Okay. Well,
because being elected is one thing, but ensuring that there is meaningful development going to that community is another thing.
That is good, Nathan, but that's quite a sensitive question. But I think what I would say in response to that question, how are we going to make sure that women respond to the leadership needs that is community-based? Okay, so as gender division, we work closely with women. Okay, even the programs that I think are alluded to, the economic empowerment programs, we don't just work in isolation. We identify who are the leaders in those communities. Okay, so if these leaders are able to give themselves to work with the government of the day, they will be included in the programs that we are running. Okay, we've seen in the past where some places CDF has been provided and MPs are shunning to use the CDF. Now, whose fault is it? Is it the government's fault or the individual party that is sponsored that candidate? So it's difficult again to lure people to work with the government of the day, irrespective of which party is in power. All we need to do is that we need to have a positive mind as Zambians to make sure that we look at development to be independent of politics. Development has got nothing to do with politics, because once we start politicizing development, it's the communities that will suffer. So all the members of parliament that are standing, especially women, please, I think when you are given the mandate by your local communities, by your constituencies, to go and represent them in parliament, don't choose sides in which you should belong to. The people have put you in power. You've got an obligation, a constructive obligation, to work with the people and for the people. And you've got that obligation to support all government programs that have been put in place to ensure that communities are alleviated from poverty.
You're watching the Power Program, and we are live on TopStar channel 120, as well as on Facebook. We are on, that is Bulozi TV. You can come through by calling us on the number 0773-738114. My guest this evening is Mr. Bruce Hamsokwe, Principal Gender Officer for Western Province, and we're discussing a very interesting topic, gender equality and development in Western Province. What are the challenges, what is the progress made, and what is the way forward? The number that you can come through, once again, is 0773-738114. Now, Mr. Bruce, coming to a very serious also and very quite sensitive issue to do with gender-based violence remains a major concern, I think, in the entire nation. What is the situation in Western Province when it comes to gender-based violence, and what forms of violence are mostly being reported?
Okay, thank you so much, Nathan. Our mandate, I shared with you, we do so many things. At one time, somebody's been asking, is this also to empower women? Is this a part of GBV? Well, what we do is a lot. And gender-based violence is just one component, and it falls under the directorate. We call it gender rights protection. That's what we do. We defend the rights of men, women, children, and boys and girls. That's what we do. So when we look at the rights, basically, we say that there's no human being that has got the right to cause harm to anyone. There's no one who's supposed to cause harm to anyone. And as a department, we coordinate and monitor all GBV activities in the province. And how do we do that? So we do that by means of subcommittees, and we call them at provincial level. We call them provincial gender subcommittees, and the chairperson is the PS, of course, of that committee. Then this is where we coordinate all gender activities in the province. Then at district level, we've got what we call district gender subcommittees, and our leaders, the district administrators or district commissioners, are the chairpersons for those committees. So at district level, that is our entry point into communities. Okay, so in those committees we have social welfare, we've got the Ministry of Health, we've got education, we've got the VS, which is Zambia Police, we've got paralegals, okay, we've got water and resource, we've got I think I mentioned community development already, okay, immigration, and other quasi-government organizations. They sit in those committees, and those are our entry points in the committees at district level. So we have what we call the gender referral pathway. This is the mechanism that we use: 1, to monitor GBV; 2, to report GBV cases. And in this GBV referral pathway, we've got departments or components that sit there. Ministry of Health. Let me talk about Ministry of Health. What do they do? Okay. Remember I talked about the rights of human beings. So under Ministry of Health, we have what we call reproductive health rights. Reproductive health rights. And as gender department, we are very much interested in those rights, because that is why we find adolescent groups. And these adolescent groups, they range from 10 years to 19 years. Okay? GBV, that is related to these young people. I'll talk about that. What are the repercussions? So, for example, I'll tell you, child pregnancies is GBV. What are we considering? Adolescent girls. Teenage pregnancies is GBV. What are we considering? Still adolescent girls. Having access to quality health care, okay, if it's denied, it's GBV. Same age group that we're considering, 10 to 19. In Western Province, from January to February, we've recorded 117 cases of child marriages. That is early child marriages. 117. So, what the challenge we have in Western Province really is not the early child marriage, but the teenage pregnancies. That is why the issue is. That is where the thorn is. So, child marriages, they've been, I think we've managed to contain, except that, child marriages also disturb school-going children. That is our worry. But not to worry, because we also have a program of retrieving children from marriages. Teenage pregnancies. Just under teenage pregnancies from January to June, the statistics show that 5,342 youths below the age of 18 got pregnant. It's very devastating. 5,342 children got pregnant from January to June.
That's quite a high.
It is quite high. Then, children on family planning. No matter how much we would want to condemn family planning, at the end of the day, the figures are here to talk. 23,964 children are on family planning, and these are children from 10 to 19. What are these figures telling us? They're telling us that our youths are very sexual active. That's what they're telling us. Now, they're also telling us that there's a great potential of our young girls becoming pregnant or early mothers. 23,900 is not a small figure. These are girls that have chosen to be on family planning. Why? Because they are hyper active. They are engaging in sexual activities. You see, so these are worrying. The statistics are worrying. And I think we're so much concentrated on family planning, we're not talking about other mixed messages. For example, abstinence, iliche. I think for us of this age group, that's the message that we had at that time, abstaining from sexual activities. But nevertheless, for now, I think family planning or contraceptive methods are helping, because you'd imagine if all these 23,900 are engaging in sexual activity and they become pregnant, it would be a disaster. Okay? Then adolescent GBV, these are young people. 496 cases reported. Case of GBV, that includes of rape, 415 cases reported. Okay? Then condom distribution, 690,000 condoms have been distributed from January to June. So that's roughly the picture, okay, on sexual reproductive health rights. Now, the challenge in this is that we've got districts like Sioma that are not doing so well. There's a lot of apathy for young people to access these health medical supplies. They shun away. Probably reason being that they do not have a friend with corners. Okay, and because of issues to do with stigma, so the use of condoms and contraceptives is very poor in Sioma. The highest number of teenage pregnancies, Shangombo has got the highest number of teenage pregnancies. So we are here to look at, I think, homemade interventions to make sure that these numbers are put into control. Yeah.
What is the way forward, looking at all these challenges that Western Province is facing when it comes to gender inequality, GBV issues, from government perspective, gender division, and also maybe what can communities, stakeholders such as the traditional leaders, the church, and other NGOs, what can they do to ensure that this gap which is there between men and also women in terms of equality is breached, and ending gender-based violence in Western Province and countrywide?
Okay, thank you very much, Nathan. What are we doing? What is working? What is not working? So what are we doing? What we are doing is that we are collaborating with partners. Okay, that is the government, of course, government, implementing partners that in Western Province. So we did stakeholder mapping. So we know the partners that we have in Western Province. We are collaborating with very well with them. For example, I think we have YWCA, they are a partner, UNFPA, they come through with support. Then we've got Ministry of Health, Education, Ministry of Education, Community Development, Social Welfare. All these are partners. We collaborate very well. Then we've got VSU. All these are partners and work together to ensure that we strengthen coordination. Okay, and I think we talked about I was I think on news when we talked about the issue of that young child who was murdered in Kaoma.
Yes.
Okay, we collaborate with the police, and that's what we do. Cases of that nature, we have platforms where we work together. Then we've got also National Prosecution Authority. We also collaborate with them in making sure that justice is sought. Then, what is not working? What is not working is that coordination at district level is still weak. We need to find, I think we have to find a way where we can be able to look at sustainability issues of our committees at district level to make sure that they are financially viable and they are supported from the top. But I think 6 districts are doing well. That is the Shangombo, Sioma, Nalolo, Limlunga, and the Skongo. These are doing very well. I think I can also add Lukulu. These are doing very well because they are being supported and they are responding. Whenever we want reports, they're able to respond. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Going forward, what we want to see is that we need to coordinate ourselves as players, GBV players in the district and at provincial level, making sure that we identify common goals and we use the common resources we have together. We do not need to duplicate efforts. Okay, we need those efforts to be considered together so that we create one message in the community, one voice that people listen to, and common interventions that are applicable and that would have been designed by all partners that are working on this indicator for GBV.
In just less than 30 seconds, your concluding remarks, Mr. Bruce.
Well,
I know time we would have loved to continue, and especially when it comes to issues of GBV. There are a lot of issues that we need to discuss, but time is never our best ally.
In the conclusion,
Sure.
well, I would just say that two things I would like to bring out. One, the one-stop centers. Okay, we've got the one-stop centers where we have Ministry of Health, VSU, the Community Development and Social Welfare. They sit there. And also, we've got paralegals at Lewanika. So, anyone that has been exposed to GBV, please visit the one-stop center at Lewanika. Okay? Then the other aspect I want to talk about, withdrawal of cases. We've seen parents withdrawing GBV cases in the preference for compensation, especially in Sioma. Please, let's the state to do that. When the law catch up with you, you become a hostile witness against your own child. The law won't be kind with you. We'll arrest you, and it won't be kind because you are the mother or the father. You'll be arrested and you'll be prosecuted and you'll go to jail. Thank you so much, Nathan.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Bruce, for making an appearance on The Power this evening.
Thank you so much.
Looking forward to inviting you on another edition so that we can have more ample time to discuss other issues otherwise. But thank you so very much. We've come to the end of our discussion this evening on the Power program. I was talking to Mr. Bruce Hamsokwe from the Gender Division, who is the Principal Gender Officer for Western Province, and we're discussing gender equality and development in Western Province. What are the challenges? What is the progress that has been made? And what is the way forward? Thank you so very much for those of you who are watching us on Facebook as well as on TopStar Decoder. On behalf of the entire production and and the transmission controller, Mr. Ashbel Subulwa Kavi, I've been talking to Mr. Bruce Hamsokwe. My name is Nathan Akfuna Wamdula. We'll see you again on the next edition of the Power program. Stay glued to Bulozi TV, the pride of Barose.